Real Estate, Melissa Wallace, provide you with our unique marketing approach to selling homes and share with you our expertise in navigating the home buying process. We like to mix it up sometimes, so not only will you hear our perspective on real estate topics, but you will hear the expert thoughts and opinions of some of our real estate agents at Boston Connect Real Estate and the preferred professionals we trust. Be part of our roundtable. If you have any questions during the show, please call 781-837-4900. We'd love to talk real estate. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and wherever you listen to podcasts at Talk Real Estate Roundtable. If you would like a one-on-one consultation with me and my team or one of the dedicated agents at Boston Connect Real Estate to discuss your real estate needs, you can connect with us at bostonconnect.com or 781-826-8000.
Oh my gosh.
Now, sit back, relax, take good notes, and let's talk real estate.
And hello to all my South Shore neighbors. You are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. My name is Melissa Wallace, and my team members, Sharon McNamara and Mary Baker, are not with me tonight. However, I do have our honorary co-pilot over here. Holla. Kristen Howlett. Hello. Hi.
How are you?
Good.
I'll do my introduction. I've got it down pat now.
Hold on. I was just going to say, we have to put you on the promos now. And you should call in to the studio on Tuesdays because I just feel like
singing on the
radio. No, but I feel like A, probably people don't want to hear me sing, and B, you are on so much that you just have to. You're a co-host now. I'm sorry.
Forever the bridesmaid.
Yeah,
the fill-in.
But you were once a bride.
True.
But yes, I am joined by Kristen Howlett, and if you are new to our little show here, Kristen, why don't you introduce yourself to all of our listeners, or if you just love to give your introduction and people love to hear it, let them hear it.
So my name is Kristen Howlett. I am a full-time real estate agent at Boston Connect. I'm a realtor.
You're a realtor.
I'm don't people say realtor? It's a realtor.
Some people say
it reminds me of Modern Family.
Oh yeah, with Phil Dunphy.
Phil Dunphy was so proud to be a realtor.
We're laughing because we know how funny it is. I mean, it's our life, but it's
I'm a realtor.
No, I like to say it like a superhero.
That designation means that I followed the ethics of the
follow the rules.
The National Association of Realtors. But I'm also a real estate agent.
We have listeners. Sorry, we have Tracy Grady. Hey chicks, sitting at the bar. Huge surprise, delayed in DC.
You might be delayed with Ava's friend. She's coming back from Washington D.C. too.
Oh, they should meet up in the.
Yeah.
Give her the details. Maybe you guys can have some drinks. And then Jasmine Glasgow. Hey
Jasmine.
Friends. Hey Jasmine. Okay, so go ahead, continue because I'm sharing us on Facebook.
I'm a full-time real estate agent at Realtor at Boston Connect Real Estate. I service pretty much anywhere in Massachusetts. My phone number is 617-448-4896, but you can hit me up on Facebook. You can hit me up on Instagram. You can
slide into her DMs.
Slide into my
She is married, though. Ellen.
Ellen, we're going to talk about you tonight.
Hi. She said, hi, beauties.
Oh, Ellen, we're going to talk about you. We're going to talk about...
we're talking about everybody.
Yep. It's a year in review. We're going to get...
you told everybody. Are you done with your introduction? Because I'm still sharing us. We are live on Facebook, so right now, if you're friends with Sharon Costa McNamara, that's the only place we're at because I haven't shared us yet.
Oh, Sharon.
But we'll be in all the Connect pages, so talk a little bit more, please.
So, yes, I am a full-time real estate agent at Boston Connect. I love where I am. If anyone has driven by Pembroke Center and saw how adorable our Christmas decorations are, come by before we take them down. They'll be up for a couple more weeks. Yeah.
Well, the exterior lights, I think, and maybe the things in the windows, but everything's coming down tomorrow in the inside.
Oh,
yeah.
Sad.
Christmas is over. I do love the Grinch, but Christmas is over. Yeah. So in the inside, we can go back to.
I kind of felt like that today. Well, no, yesterday. I have an awesome listing that's coming on, and I woke up ready to go. I ordered my.
Yeah, you were texting me yesterday, right?
I ordered all my calendar refills from Levenger yesterday. I am on top of it because 2023 is going to be our year.
It is.
Or the year of the year of Melissa and Krista.
Yeah, just the two of us.
I think we should do our own
the
little
two of
podcast.
us. Oh, we should.
I love
I know we have
WATD,
some,
but we could also do like, no holds barred, like
like
an
brother after hours.
dark.
Yeah, after
Oh,
dark.
first of all, we have to do a
We have to do a little cheers.
cheers
Ooh, yeah, there you go.
to my
Cheers.
new favorite drink, Christmas drink.
I have gotten everybody hooked on poinsettias. So it's just, Prosecco and cranberry. But everyone that has tried it this year has been blown away by this simple drink. So I've gotten everybody hooked on it.
Christmas Day, I put cranberries in it.
Yeah, so I usually put cranberries and like an orange slice in it just to
I was thinking
jazz it
frozen
up.
cranberries would be nice.
Yeah.
Do you freeze them?
Yeah, sometimes.
I should. I'm
Yeah.
gonna put mine in the fridge, in the freezer.
Yeah, that's like my signature drink. That's my go-to. Anyways, so yes. So why don't you tell everybody what we're going to be talking about tonight?
So this morning we thought, let's do a little year in review and keep it real. And 2022 was a crazy year in real estate. I did less transactions than I have in past years, but I made way more money.
Okay, so I have two follow-up things to that. First one, why do you say it's a crazy year? What does that mean to you? Because we've talked about this previously on the show, where it's like you hear the market is hot, the market is hot. Well, what does that mean? So now I'm asking you, what does that mean to you?
I looked back today. So my first closing of the year was my friend Jody, who I loved. She bought a condo in Brockton, and that started it. And then that was a pretty easy one. We got that under agreement pretty quickly, and then it was like chasing, I don't even know, like finding a needle in a haystack to get offers accepted. Ellen, John and I, we went through, I don't even know, I don't even want to know how many offers we got rejected, but it was quite a few. I had other clients too that ended up buying in Halifax that we had been looking since we met in March of 2020, and I don't even know how many offers we put in that we just got shot down. It was so competitive for buyers. It was a lot of, hurry up and wait and get your offers in and just keep your fingers crossed. And we should have Ellen call in one day and talk about her experience, because it was like emotional, up and down.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I had the pleasure of meeting Ellen and her husband at their final walkthrough over the summer. I covered for you. I think you were with your family. I got to see their house in Marshfield, and they just got so excited about the possibilities, like the changes that they were going to make to their new home. And so while we were there, they were talking about, sort of their journey with the process, because that's ultimately, it was the day before they were about to close on this. We were doing the final walkthrough, and sort of there were some things that needed to be, taken care of beforehand. So we were going through the list, but they were just excited, even though it took them a while to get there.
And what's funny about them is they had started talking about where they wanted to be, which Ellen's original was, I want to be in a ranch. We want to downsize to a cute little ranch in Marshfield. And somewhere along the lines, like we were just talking about, we kind of got off track, and we ended up down the Cape because they fell in love with a certain area down the Cape. And we came full circle, and they ended up at a beautiful ranch in Marshfield, which is exactly where they were meant to be. So maybe the heartache, think about that though. Did we have any home inspection? Oh, no, we didn't.
Yeah, you did.
No, I'm thinking of others that like deals fell through, but they did not. Actually, we couldn't even get anything accepted.
So it was with them.
So I'm not sure January. If I look back, I'm not sure in January if I could have seen this coming, because it was still that crazy. I think we all kind of thought that in January it would slow down a little bit, and it did not.
It did not.
It just kept going.
Yeah.
So we were busier, because especially us, like I know Mary Baker works with a lot of buyers too, and her and I just kept sitting with each other like, oh my gosh, how much more can these buyers take? And it was pretty stressful.
Yeah.
But in the end, I think everybody ended up exactly where they were supposed to be.
all of your clients. So what we're doing is sort of a year in review. So Sharon, Marion, and I usually do this show the last week of the year, and Sharon and Marion can't be on the show. So and usually we talk about like numbers and we go through it, but Sharon is a huge number person, so we're going to sort of stay away from the numbers, and we're calling it keeping it real. So like we're going to be talking about our personal experiences in this market that we experienced this year. Something for you, Krista, that I remember it being the end of last year, beginning of this year, and some of your closings were pushed. So there were a few clients that you were helping that were supposed to close in December, ended up closing in January, and it sort of kicked off your year on a positive note.
Yep.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but your clients were sort of okay with the change, or what, how did you sort of navigate the process of telling your client or supporting your client with having to move those closing dates? Because that happens. I mean, it happens frequently where
I feel like I had 2 years in a row where that happened.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of two people in particular. One, we tried so hard to get it done by the end of the year, and we just couldn't. I think the other one was Jody. I'm not sure why. I do remember that we ended up rushing things at the end, and she did her closing at Harbor One Bank, where she was the celebrity there because she'd banked there for 1,000 years. And the attorney came up because the next day was going to be a snowstorm.
Oh.
We didn't want to delay it anymore.
Yeah.
But then you had a good point too, where then I've had other clients, like the cutest first-time home buyers who literally, it was a referral from my favorite, Christine Fisk. They came to my office. They had a ton of questions.
Yeah.
They were so thorough. We met at my office. We went over everything. And like I keep telling people, a lot of things, we learned a lot from COVID. And we learned how to do things. Some things we weren't doing the best way. Mm-hmm. We've kind of streamlined the way that we do things. But one thing that I do love is I have all my buyers, if they can, come to the office. We sit down, we go through everything. Mm-hmm. We go through, this is what to expect. This is what, you're going to write a check. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. This is what, because sometimes you may find something and we have to act quickly.
Yeah. And that is so important. Like in-person meetings are so important, because I remember when you got the list of questions from these clients, we were in a networking meeting and they were like 15 questions or something.
And they were great
questions. They were great questions. And you just had to take a minute to digest them and then just answer them in the best ability.
It's like a job interview.
Yeah, it is like a job interview, but it's so important to meet with anybody in person, because so many things could be miscommunicated through text, through email, through everything. Of course, get everything in writing. However, when you're able to sit in front of somebody and sort of see on their face if they're getting it or not, it's so important when you're going through this process.
Yeah, for sure. And also it takes away all the questions. But those first-time home buyers just wanted somebody, and thank God I've done a few first-time home buyer seminars, so it kind of is they're like Christine and I say, they're our little ducklings, and we kind of have to, kind of lead them through. They just want to know that they're making a good decision. And you can never assume that somebody knows what it's
never
like
assume.
They don't know what, closing costs are. They don't know what an escrow check is. They don't know what a home inspection is. So many people get a home inspection and an appraisal mixed up. So unless you, if you sit down and you just sit, sometimes it takes an hour, sometimes it takes 2 hours. But these ones in particular, we went through MLS. We looked at what was available, at what they liked and didn't like. One came up and they said, oh, it had an open house this weekend. Oh, we kind of like that one. Mm-hmm. We went to the open house. We wrote an offer. It got accepted, and we closed within 30 days. They just closed.
Yeah.
That was the first one out the gate. Mm-hmm. That's happened to me twice with buyers. That the first house they love, and I like to manifest things. I'm a big believer in everything is supposed to be, it plays out the way that it's supposed to. If there are red flags telling you, don't do this, maybe you shouldn't, because if it's meant to be, it always will, and it's so true.
Yeah, so it is possible. Did you see a difference, and I might be jumping ahead, but Did you see a difference in the amount of showings that you had for each, I almost said agent, but each buyer? Let's focus on the buyers maybe. So your buyer journey this year, do you feel like it might have been different in any way as to previous years or even during COVID? What was your experience with your buyers?
Experience this year was wait with bated breath as what was coming on Monday through Wednesday. When it came on, we planned our weekend because it was all open houses. 99.9%, unless it was a Boston Connect listing, you did not get in before the open house. So it was open houses only. On the rare event we got into something, it was, so yeah, showings were down. Like, I mean, open houses were more popular than showings, which now we're in a much different market.
Yeah. And we do an open house report here. So I used to do it before Julia Hannon started here, the administrative coordinator that we have. And, you know, she goes around every single Monday and gets all of the information from everybody who had an open house that weekend, or even a commuter open house. So maybe it was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday night. They had an open house and get the numbers. So we can go back and say, okay, so this price point, it seems like they're doing well from 10 to 12 on Sunday. It seems like they're doing well this day, you know, and that's something that we like to sort of be aware of because we can see. And it says how many people came to that open house. So we can go back and say to our clients, like, hey, just so you know, a similar home in a similar price range, you know, they had a great open house at this time, you know, and we use that as like a way to sort of set the tone for our open houses too. But yeah, I mean, I haven't hosted an open house in a while, probably not since the summer. But you know, just looking at the report every week, people are still going.
People are still going.
People are still going. So I'm curious. I have not had the time to do this research, but I'm curious if it's because they've been holding, you know, showings until the open house. Or
I will say that to be honest, I think too, we're such creatures of habit so quickly too, right? So through that time where everything was like no showings until the open house, everybody became accustomed to that.
Yeah.
So I had a few listings that came on and people were commenting, calling me, when is the open house? I'm like, you can go Thursday.
Yeah.
No one expected it.
Yeah.
No one expected that you could get in, and now things are definitely going back to normal, which thank God. The one thing I will say is it was great. It obviously we were successful this year. We had a great year, but it was super stressful, and I'm glad that things are normalizing.
Yeah. Well, normalizing what you think is normalizing.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, I always like found it so weird when people started like holding showings to the open house. Like even during COVID, like I understand, but I felt like it created more of a frenzy at the open house. So like how were you social distancing and doing all these things like if everybody is there at the same time? And my thought process was like, don't you want to sell your house?
And you listen to me.
I know it's such an inconvenience. I know it's such an inconvenience to like have to go in and out of your house, but you know, not. Unfortunately, that's just sort of the process.
I feel like I have PTSD just thinking about it because it was.
You say that every time I ask you to go get Allegra G at the pharmacy. That was the start of COVID.
And it also was like, I think agents, we kind of perpetuated that too, because there was really, except for people maybe being nervous about people coming in their house, but we kind of, you know, posted the pictures and, oh my gosh, look at the lines. And really a lot of what it did do is it deterred good buyers from even coming to the open houses.
Yeah.
It probably squashed out an entire pool of buyers who didn't think that they had a chance because they saw, you know, 200 people in line. And I mean, it's still a fantastic time to buy. We talked a couple weeks ago about staging. I think we're going to go back to, you know, your house is, I have pictures being done tomorrow. We're going to show it in the best light we can. It's online dating. You've got to show it where, you know, just really 3-4 months ago, you could put anything on the market and it would sell.
Well, it's so funny because my first thought when you just said that, it was like, I don't do online dating. So, like, I like to see things in person, just like I would like to see a person in person. So, like, and we talked about this, I don't know, the staging. Last week, we talked about staging, how it could be, photos can be deceptive.
Photos can be
and you can walk
deceptive.
into the house and be like, well, it doesn't look like this is so much different than the photos. And it's the same with online dating. Sorry to squash your little thing there, but
That's
that's
what I'm saying.
I like to see houses in person. Like, don't fall in love with pictures because it might not look like that when you get there. Just
And
like the
now
person
we're-
you might be being catfished. You can be catfished by a house.
And now we're back to that, you do have plenty of time to go in and look at a house and go for a private showing, and you have more time to go and look, and really back to, you have plenty of time to make the biggest decision of your life.
Yeah.
I was trying to think too of anything funny that happened.
Did anything funny happen to you this year?
Well, I did get fired.
Oh, you got fired.
I did get fired, but
Oh, okay. Well, keep it real. What happened?
I think that this client didn't like the way not sure how much I should say.
You already said you got fired.
Well, I got half fired because we did do a transaction together.
Okay.
And this was a client that we met during COVID, and I really liked her. And we spent a lot of time together on the weekends, going down the Cape, looking at houses. We ultimately found a house that she loved, and it worked out. I also think that there's a lot of misconceptions about real estate, and how that's a whole nother
Are you gonna complete a sentence?
that's a whole nother concept. People's misconceptions, because I'm going back to thinking about even first time home buyers. There are a lot of things that people don't. There are misconceptions in real estate of what really happens, and so they bought a house, and then they were going to sell another house, and I went over without having a signed listing agreement. I gave some tips.
Gave your advice. Yep.
Gave my advice. Gave out my expertise for free. Mm-hmm. And in the end, I think it was price. I thought a certain price, and they ultimately went with somebody else.
Because of price.
I think so. Or maybe we just didn't, yeah.
But they took all of your advice.
You gave me very good, oh yeah, because the picture showed it. But you gave me such good advice because you were the first person I called afterwards. And originally when I could see it coming, you said, and I do say this, and I should have listened to my own advice, I do say to all my clients, if we decide to work together, because it truly is a two-way street. I mean, I would, of course, give everyone the chance, but sometimes you just don't click. Sometimes they might work better with somebody else.
Yeah.
We just two personalities. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm definitely, I talk a lot. I'm overkill sometimes. I wear my heart on my sleeve, but sometimes people, we may not click. And your advice was to walk away. And I could have done that with my head up, but instead, I got the Dear John email later that night.
Yeah. I told you to walk away.
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
I
because
probably,
you knew what was coming, and there was a lot of other things that we talked about.
I think, and this is the advice that I get when I tell people to walk away, or tell our agents to walk away from a situation or a client or whatever. It's because somebody doesn't see your value.
My value, and I knew that I had value because, like I said, it was weeks, and we went down the Cape. I drove. So I'm not saying that like, oh, poor me. I did it because I love to do it.
Yeah.
And I did enjoy it. And I do think that not everybody does that.
Well, it's the same with dating.
Yeah,
If they don't see your value, you gotta walk away.
Ain't that the truth?
Ain't that the truth? Yeah, I mean, that's exactly why I tell people, if this situation, were different, would you be able to move forward if it's going to stay your first sort of couple interactions with somebody, and this goes out to anybody who, I mean, there's a bajillion real estate agents, so you weren't the right one, so they went to somebody else.
Yep.
Totally fine.
And guess what? They sold their house. They got a great price for it, and everything worked out in the end.
Yeah. Now I forgot
so
my thing.
sorry.
That's all right. Yeah, I lost it.
Yeah, but
It's
your
somewhere.
first
It's out there.
interaction,
Oh, yeah,
from
yeah.
the beginning.
It sets the tone for the whole entire transaction.
100%.
So, if you're just not feeling it there, and you should, and this is sort of not advice because we don't give advice on the show, but it just,
From our experience.
From our experience, it's important to meet your real estate professional or loan officer or anything a couple times before, really committing. And it's not a waste of time. This is what we do. This is what they do. We've made a living out of this. And you should sort of date a little bit before you
course.
commit.
Yeah.
Because you want to make sure we're going to be holding your hands during this whole thing. We are the ones who are supposed to be taking on all the emotional stuff. We're the people working in the background, making sure that this moves forward and your next chapter starts on the right foot. So if anything goes wrong or things aren't going the right way or whatever it may be in the beginning, it sets the tone for the whole entire transaction.
Right. And sometimes it's not. I mean, I would rather refer it out to somebody else and have everybody be happy than, and I will say, I don't know that I've ever met, I think maybe one other person, but it was mutual, but I don't think I've ever met somebody and thought, oh my God, I can't work with them.
Yeah.
What I will say too is we do say, is there anyone else involved that may have an opinion? That's a very good question to ask in the beginning because everybody wants to be involved from the get-go.
Yeah. And that is very important when it comes to home inspection time too. So it's, who's going to be attending this? Who has a stake in this? Whose opinion do you want to, be a part of this process? Because they should be, coming with you along the way. But just to reel it back in a little bit, so when it comes to your year in review and sort of what you saw firsthand, working with your buyers, because they might have been sort of not getting, offers accepted, did they have to expand their sort of horizon and go into towns that they might not have thought of?
Yep,
Okay.
for sure. And I will say, now looking back on it, I'm thinking a lot of, okay, so here's a funny one. So my girl Leda, who I love, she sold, so also with Ellen and John, everybody's always so afraid to sell their house and buy at the same time. It is stressful. I'm not going to say that it's not stressful, but it can be done. And if it can be done in the middle of that market, then guess what? It can be done. So Ellen and John had sold their house. They had rented someplace else. They were in dire straits. They needed to find something. And by the grace of God, we found them something. But my Leda also sold very quickly. And she needed to find something. At the time, we thought we needed to find something for her and her mom because she had owned a two-family. Mom lived upstairs. So she expanded. She started looking in Fall River. And she works in Plymouth, so that's quite a commute for her. But she had a friend that lived down there, so we went down. We went to go look at one that she had seen that she really had her heart set on. We had gone down, then we went back again to look. And on the way there, I'll never forget, we were like right near the bridge, and I said, are there any other open houses that we can hit while we're here? And she said, well, there's this one, but I'm not, crazy about the front of it. Well, we were early, so we ended up hitting it. And that was the one that she bought.
Wow.
We put the offer in. It was accepted, and she's so happy. But that's one we weren't even going to look at. It was a game.
In a town that she wasn't even considering?
We were considering Fall River, but we were looking at another one in Fall River. And this one we just stumbled upon only because we were early.
Yeah.
So weird. I mean, and we told the builder this too. The pictures actually weren't great, and that's why we were kind of bypassing it. But when we
that's
got
important
in there,
feedback. Yeah,
it was it was perfect for her, and she's so happy.
Well, I don't know if you can see up there. So Jasmine Glasgow from Maritime Mortgage, she commented on Facebook, and she said sometimes you get a reverse catfish. So you might rule a house out by the photos, and then it's amazing in person. So there's your story.
100%, Jasmine. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome.
I'm trying to think of anything. So it was a good year. I love my clients, so I don't have any complaints about. I lucked out. I'm thinking back, like I said, from January until now, and I had great clients, great experiences. What I loved this year too, it was more buyers and sellers meeting together and having everything work out. The first time home buyers that just bought in Mansfield met with the seller on our final walkthrough, and he went over. He was an electrician, and the heating system downstairs was unbelievable. So he went through and he walked through and he walked them through everything. And at the end, he gave them the phone number and they're going to call him. Like it's like, I do feel like lately my transactions are old fashioned handshake. You want to sell, you want to buy, let's make this work out.
Yeah.
Where a lot of agents, I've had agents who say, "Oh no, they're not going to," like they think that that's the worst thing in the world. But for me, it's always worked out.
We're not enemies here.
No.
We're all working together to try to make this work for everybody, And
I do think it's a testament to us too, because we're honest agents. Like I tell my clients from the get-go, if something's wrong, let's just disclose it. Let's just tell the truth. You're better off, because you know what? You're much better off saying, yeah, we did have a leak in the bathroom, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Blah, blah. You're better off telling the truth, because then you're not looking like you're trying to hide something.
Yeah. If you want to join in on the discussion and you don't want to comment on Facebook because you are so confident and want to talk to us on the phone, you can call into the studio 781-837-4900. And you can sort of talk with us. Say hi. Say Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. You can sing with us. We can sing again, the whole thing. Yeah, I don't know if I said it last week or maybe the week before, but oh my gosh, I lost my train of thought again.
All the time lately.
Gosh, you're really rubbing off on me.
All right, so I'm going to say another cute 2022 moment was I had two older, my client Mary, who I'm completely obsessed with, she bought in an over 55, and the woman that was selling was there for the home inspection. And we walked in and she grabbed Mary's hand and the two of them were holding hands. And I had to walk out because I was hysterically crying. It was the sweetest thing. She was wishing her well, and Mary, it was just the nicest.
Yeah.
It was just nice.
Yeah. I remember now. So, yeah, that's lovely. Good. That was great for them. I remember my thought. I think it might have been on our home inspection show. The last home inspection show that we did was sort of disclosing if something is like sort of not right or something might have happened. Maybe you had water somewhere or whatever. If it's going to come up along the process, be honest about it up front. You're better off just saying, hey, this was an issue, we took care of it, than someone being like, oh, we know that there was an issue, did you take care of it, where are the receipts, because then it can become hostile. We've seen that. We've all seen that. It's not that big of a deal. Things happen in homes, but if you are sort of upfront about it and just say, oh yeah, this is what happened, it's so much better than somebody finding out along the process, because they're going to think that it was hidden.
I do that with my sellers beforehand. I say, is there anything? I have another story. I'm full of stories tonight.
You're full of stories.
So I had one who, the cutest sellers, and it was termite. He was so afraid of that word. Oh my gosh. He was like out of his mind about it. Well, he'd had the inspection done. There were no termites. They found a couple of like old, like, what do they call them? Tubes?
Like the tubes, yeah.
There was nothing active, but he had it in his head and he was literally making himself sick about it. Like, what's the worst thing? You've already had it treated. Now they're going to see them when they come in the house. When they come for open house, they're going to see all the little, your prevention is much better than not knowing.
Yeah.
You have a report. Let's share the report. And that's exactly what we did. And guess what? The buyers were like, yeah, no big deal. Yeah, it was not a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean,
So this is something that I have sort of realized along the year. The buyers out there right now, this sort of has been more prevalent sort of currently with a lot of the houses that I'm seeing, is if there is an issue with the house and the current seller doesn't want to deal with it, but they still want the price that they want, The buyers right now don't want to take on your issue.
Buyers are so savvy.
Yeah, they don't want to take on the issue at an astronomical price. Right. So if the price of the home is not according to the condition that it's in,
which is what we always do.
You know, buyers are not going in there and saying, "Oh, well, the seller doesn't want to take care of the problem. I'll take care of the problem and give them the whole world."
Exactly.
You know, that's not the market that we're in right now.
Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
And we were in that market.
But we've
not.
missed that boat.
Yeah.
Yep. That boat is on its way to Bermuda.
Well, the market that we just came out of gave a lot of buyers that are in the market right now an opportunity to either sell their house and move in somewhere where they aren't sort of at a time crunch. So maybe they moved in with family or friends, or they got a really great rental, and they're not on a time restraint. So they have the time to find the right house.
And a lot of them have money from what they sold.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that is such a good point. All right, so I'm thinking of what are some terms that came up in 2022 that we never want to hear again?
Some terms
with offers that we hadn't seen and then we saw, and now I never want to hear them again.
I never want to hear for informational purposes only.
Ever
again.
Jake Howlett, he's the one who...
Was that what you wanted me to say?
No, but that's a good one.
Oh, yeah,
for informational purposes only. Because Jake, so my son and I were...
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
We have 10 minutes.
So my son and I were driving one day, and my client was saying, why don't we tell them that it's for informational purposes only, but still... And Jake said... No.
Okay. If you have we don't like the information we got, so now we're
you either have a home inspection or you don't.
Yeah.
Which is so true. So just have the home inspection.
Yeah.
Right? No big deal.
Yeah.
Appraisal gap.
Oh. You nearly fall off your chair.
No, don't ever want to hear about an appraisal gap.
Why? Again. What happened?
Just, it was one of those things that people were just, going over, and we had to make sure. It was so tricky. It was so much trickier for us to manage these offers that it wasn't fun.
Yeah.
To go through. We would have to go through. We would have sometimes 4 and 5 agents going through, weeding through to make sure we didn't miss anything.
Yeah. Karen Monroe is watching, so one of Sharon's best friends, she's watching. Hi. She said wave inspections.
Yeah, we don't want to hear that.
We don't want to hear that anymore.
Right on, Karen.
You are right on, Karen.
Yeah, wave inspections. I'm trying to think of something else. So appraisal gaps. What else? What else was a 2022?
This was your question.
I need your help. What were some other things? I'm trying to think of offers.
Patriot. Here, I'll give you Patriots tickets. We don't want to see that anymore.
Oh, yes. Everybody throwing in everything but the kitchen sink.
Yeah.
And taking the professionalism out of it, too.
Yeah.
I will say this also. I wouldn't mind no showings until the open house going away either. Just let us see the house.
Yeah,
just put it
just
on.
let me see it. Come on.
Just open it up.
Well, so this is a personal thing for me, but I don't like the coming soons. I don't like them. They aggravate me. I just don't. I like it to be a surprise, like Christmas morning. Like, oh, here you go. Here's
That's a good idea. Now, you're changing my mind because I was going to do a coming soon.
I just don't
like them. Should I do just a teaser? What should I do?
I don't know. I know, like, we're supposed to do these things. Well,
maybe, and you know what? To be honest, maybe we're coming off of that. We feel like we had to, again, we're like,
Yeah. I don't know. I think if I thought about it more, I could come up with the reasons. But, like, right now, it's just something that aggravates me, and I don't have a reason for it.
Well, I like that.
Reason enough. I don't know. The whole, like, coming soon, here's, like, one picture of the exterior. It's like, the first thing people are going to ask, what's the price? What's it look like? It's like, you're just causing a stir, which is great, and it's great for the seller, but it's like, all right, but if it's long enough,
you got me thinking. You have my wheels turning.
Yeah, but if it's like a couple days, I'm not thinking about it in a couple days, and I've already forgotten about you. That's my personal thing.
Oh, I like that.
I've already forgotten about you.
Because you're right. Because why the coming soon? Why all those teasers? Why we did things, and a lot of agents threw listings on there with like crappy iPhone pictures is because of the sense of urgency.
Yeah.
Because there was that sense
I don't mind, like, the agents will, like, or anybody that like does like videos when they're there, like they're there with the photographer being like, hey, like we have a new listing coming on, blah blah blah, like give some information, give some substance.
I have your blessing to do that tomorrow.
I have your blessing. I mean, you have my blessing.
Okay.
What do I have your blessing for? Bless me with something. Jasmine says 2023 is the year of relationships.
Yes.
Hopefully that covers the whole entire board.
Oh, Karen said if she had waived her inspection, she would have regretted it. Yeah, I think you would have.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people. Now, don't get me wrong. Oh, I thought of another great client.
Oh, go ahead.
Another great client who was a referral, and he knew exactly where he wanted to be, and it everything worked out. It ended up working out great. Now, he did waive his inspection, but it was a condo, a townhouse, and the reason why he did waive it is because his father was a contractor, and his feeling was, okay, the exterior is taken care of by the HOA. Anything in this house that came up, I can handle.
Yeah.
So for him, it made sense, and it definitely helped him bargaining wise.
Yeah.
That's probably why we got.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
there are reasons why people do these things, and it's very situational. Every situation is different. Like every relationship is different. We keep referring to relationships because we're having relationships with our clients. You know, it's a partnership to get us to the final day, but you know, everything is different. You know, like you said, they might be a contractor, or they might be going in with the intention of just redoing the entire thing.
Yeah.
You know, so as long as it's structurally sound, then you know.
Does anyone else have any phrases that they? I'm trying to think of even the.
We're the only two
media.
people in the room.
I'm talking to Facebook. What about the media? Didn't the media? Oh, I got one.
Oh, what?
The market's gonna crash.
Oh, market's gonna crash.
But that's like in any. They're always saying that doomsday.
Doomsday, end of the world.
So I think year in review 22. My family will tell you different. That there were times that I was a raving lunatic.
Times.
My emotions were like a roller coaster. They were up and freaking down more this year than ever. There were times that I was like, how many times did I tell you I don't think real estate's for me?
Yeah.
I get too vested.
You're emotionally invested in people's situations, which is good, which is a good thing. It can be a good, but that's who you are as a person. If somebody doesn't like that, then they move on to one of the other billion real estate agents. You know, but that's what makes you you.
Right, you're stuck with me.
I'm stuck with you. Yeah. 2023 is the year of Kristen and Melissa.
It is. So 2023 is already looking bright because I have a great listing coming on. We have pictures tomorrow. I can talk about it, whether we consider this a coming soon or not. It is.
Give some substance, please.
Oh, it is
for the love of goodness.
Beautiful, beautiful antique in Bridgewater. It was built in 1900. It has been beautifully maintained with keeping the integrity of the house. It's in an awesome location. It's right in Bridgewater Center, but it's completely tucked away that if you're in the backyard, you can't hear a thing. I had another antique in Bridgewater on South Street that I sold, and I'm going to throw this out to the universe that there were clients that had looked at that house and it wasn't perfect for them. If you're out there, I have it. I had told them that it might be coming on, and here we are.
Well, if they're listening, how can they get in touch with you?
They can text me at 617-448-4896.
Again?
617-448-4896. They can email me at kristen@bostonconnect.com.
Yeah, they can go to bostonconnect.com.
We say that, yep.
Call me, 781.
Call Julia. They'll hook you up.
Call Boston Connect, 781-826-8000. Go to bostonconnect.com.
So if your dream is a 5-bedroom, it's like 4 bedrooms and a loft with a widow's walk.
Oh, perfect for a cat.
Perfect for a cat, yeah.
Maybe I'll take that. I'll take that off your hands for all my cats.
Do it. There's a front porch, a a back deck. Oh, it is just gorgeous.
Yeah. Okay, so if you want to see Kristen's sneak peek, I'm giving her permission to do a video tomorrow.
Michelle Doherty's doing pictures
Michelle
tomorrow.
Doherty. Yep. Yeah, you love Michelle.
Yeah.
And so where are you going to do this? Where are you going to do this video? Tell everybody.
Oh, Facebook.
Okay, so where can they find you on Facebook?
Oh, Kristen Howlett Realtor.com. I think.
No, not .com. I'm not on Facebook. Kristen Howlett
You
Realtor.
can check my personal page. You can check my regular page, which is Kristen Howlett
You didn't even know.
dash Boston Connect Real Estate. I think I took off the Realtor.
I think so. Anyways, you'll find it. I'll tag her tomorrow on Boston Connect Real Estate on Facebook. But thank you, everybody, for listening. If you want to listen to any of our past shows, go to talkrealestateroundtable.com or just type in Talk Real Estate Roundtable to your podcast app. Thanks, Kristen.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Woohoo.
2023, we're coming for you.